So what is gender equality? Gender equality refers to equal rights, responsibilities, and opportunities for all genders. It implies that the interests, needs, and opportunities of all are taken into consideration. Worldwide, women's fundamental rights continue to be violated, and they face discrimination in access to education, work, social protection, inheritance, economic assets, participation in decision-making, and society. A reason which contributes to the discriminatory behavior towards women in India is the age-old structure dictated that women need to stay in the house taking care of all while men go out to earn money. Women are still the preferred gender in home managing activities. For example, today, even in big firms, women are often assigned to sweet talk customers purely because they are women. Although we have come a long way, there are still subtle forms of inequality that we need to address. Let me give you an example of my school, the Orchid School. Even in our school, in spite of Orchid being one of the most progressive schools, we see that the boys are asked to carry or move the chairs and tables as they're considered the stronger gender. Barring a few exceptions, I remember seeing that during the sports day parade, the boy captain was asked to hold the torch. Or in another case, as kids, when we had a free period, the boys were given a ball to play on the ground while the girls were instructed to play in the park. When we questioned why, we were told that if the girls got hurt, the teacher would be held responsible. Absurd, isn't it? So who is responsible for creating such problems? Partly women themselves and partly the society. Sometimes I wonder if women are the biggest enemies of themselves. I would like to quote an example in which I'm sure is quite common in many of our Indian homes. A mother who has a daughter and a son shows differences in the way she brings them up. Most of the time, the guy ends up having an upper hand in everything. I'm not saying that mothers are against their daughters. I'm also not saying that the upbringing solely depends on the mother. It is just that the son and the daughter are constantly conditioned in a stereotypical way. It's not very rare to find the older generation and the middle-aged women being skeptical about the independence of today's women. They apparently are not okay with the freedom women enjoy today compared to the previous generations. Someone I know enlightened me the other day. This is what she said with an annoyingly modulated tone. Too much of freedom has created many problems today. There are too many divorces because of women's independence. They are ignoring family values and are not realizing their husband's importance. They don't listen to their husbands. They think they know too much. Wow. And this isn't just one instance. There are many such glaring examples. Also, shockingly, it's not just the older generation who has a problem with today's women. One day, a friend of mine uploaded a picture on Instagram in which she wore a very modern dress according to the sacred rule book of the dressing standards of Indian women. Another friend of mine with whom I had numerous conversations related to similar topics like Indian women and who always seem to promote women empowerment, calls up and says, I think she's changed a lot, with a disapprovingly negative tone. And that's a little too much. Freedom doesn't mean you do whatever you want, she said. I'm sure we all must have done this at a certain point. First of all, she's wearing a not so mini skirt, and I don't think it's too much by any standards. Secondly, it's none of our business to comment on anyone's manners or characters by just looking at the way they dress. It's the way she likes to be. As long as the person has no problem, who are we to question or judge? Women have problem with women wearing modern dresses, women talking aggressively or boldly, women raising their voices against people in the family, women having male friends, women sticking to a choice of their own, women not obeying the orders, and the list goes on. Why on earth shouldn't women have a voice? Words like individuality, freedom are used with such negative significance. It's sad to hear such things from women themselves. I don't want to say that all women are like this, but it's a shockingly good number. If women cannot understand, realize, or encourage their improving status in society, it becomes extremely tough for real progress to happen. This matters more in a patriarchal society like India, where the axis is disproportionately tilted towards men. If these things are happening in a safe and protected environment, imagine what the scene must be in areas that aren't as privileged. When I say the word mankind, what does that imply for you? Mankind, said for superior kind. for women, whereas we associate them with terms like Mother India, Ganga Mata, where it's about their giving, caring, and nurturing. Some discriminatory terminologies have been buried so deep in our system that they have been normalized and are considered okay. We must take steps to ensure a safe and healthy place for all genders. Every solution begins with acknowledging the problem. Similarly, more awareness needs to be spread regarding the basic day-to-day discriminatory behavior and what impact that can have on those around you. Guaranteeing the rights of women and giving them opportunities to reach their full potential is critical, but unfortunately not enough. The change has to be a conscious effort that comes from each one of us. We have to be mindful of what we say and do. Women and girls are an essential part of our society and should not be dismissed whatsoever. I conclude by saying, today, I'd like to call upon the youth and tomorrow's leaders to demand change. It's us and every single person in this room that has the power to change the world. Don't ever forget that. It's time to act upon the problems and pave the way for the future. Thank you.